All right. It's January 1st, 2026, y'all. I can't believe it's that. I can't believe it. It's wild. So I yeah, so this is the first podcast of the new year. I just cracked myself up. This is a podcast because nobody's really listening except, my creative partner Janine, who's, you know, my only subscriber. So, but what a great way to start the year. I am feeling so in my element talking about connection and food and peace and grace. And um, I sent a voice message earlier to Janine saying that just feels like my whole life has come together. Like all the things that I love and love to talk about, love to share, and love to experience, and love to hear stories about really has come together around this concept of connecting one meal at a time. So every meal is the invitation. It's an invitation to connect to ourselves, to others, and to the world. So, excuse me. I think this holiday season, I've had opportunities to connect with other people through meals, which is amazing. But I think the one that really stands out for me over the holidays is the opportunity I had to cook for myself, which I often like to do. Um, I like the ritual of it, the self care. I like the idea of thinking about what to make. I like the idea. I love walking to the store and buying the ingredients and coming back and um, preparing it and deciding when and what I'm going to drink with the meal and just taking that time. I think it's really important for self care. And for me, not everyone's a foodie. I get that. So maybe food isn't the love language, but I do think it is a love language. It is a universal love language. So this particular meal was great on several layers or levels. Um, First of all, I got this great card from my brother Ken and my sister-in-law Sam, who I love dearly and who were so instrumental in my life in many ways, especially when it came time to building out my van to the tiny home and going on the whole Sojo adventure across the country. Their house was a home base for a long time for me. And using Ken's shop and his tools and a lot of the work, eventually my brother Jeff and my sister-in-law Allison took over with such generosity of time and spirit and craft to finish the van after I hurt myself, which is a whole nother story. But Ken and Sam have always been such a um, grounding force in my life. And so they sent me a card this holiday season with a Trader Joe's gift card, which was fantastic, because they know, Sam, her love language is food, as is mine. And so I had this Trader Joe's gift card. So I walked to Trader Joe's. I was thinking about what I wanted to make for myself to have a nice meal on Christmas Eve. Um, and what came up was a memory of another connection to my past. And when my girls, when my girls were growing up in our home, we loved to make raclette. And we learned to make raclette when we all went on vacation to Italy and Switzerland and France. And let's see, Addie was just turning 13. Avery would have been 11 or 10, going on 11. And we went to see a old friend of mine, Laura Sanchez, and her family, who had moved to Geneva, Switzerland. And so it was great to travel through Switzerland, spend a few days with them. And the first night we were there, they made us a raclette dinner, which I'd never heard of before or never had. And it was fantastic. And when we got home from our vacation, Meredith and I immediately bought a raclette grill, which is a whole grill where you cook the vegetables on top and you melt the cheese on these small trays underneath. It's a whole food experience, which I love. And And so that was an immediate connection, just seeing the cheese. I remembered a story of a time when we were gonna have raclette, for a bunch of people at our house, and I remember having to go to, I th gosh, maybe 5 Trader Joe's to find it, and then I finally found, um, the raclette, but there was only 1 package. So when I asked the store manager, he's like, "We have 7 packages left," which we needed about 5, I would say 4 packages, and there was only 1 left or 2 left, and I actually walked around the store thinking like, "Oh, what are we gonna do? I gotta supplement this with something else," and then I saw this lady, I know this is crazy, but she had a cart with all the raclette, the rest of the packages, I guess 5 packages or something, and I actually had the courage to say, "Hey, here's a situation, we're promising this raclette meal to everyone. Is there any chance you don't need all of them tonight?" 'Cause the manager said there would be more coming tomorrow. But she was so nice and gave me 2 of her packages of raclette. So, another connection, story, and memory across, with a stranger that I did not know, which was fantastic. So, anyway, fast forward to Christmas Eve, me getting my raclette, which I only need 1 package for 1, um, at Trader Joe's, and then all the other potatoes and sausage and cauliflower and mushrooms and broccoli and all the things I wanted, and French bread, which was great, and like a baguette, which was fantastic. So I, got home. It was nice to prepare all of that. I opened a bottle of wine, and just had, a little bit of that as I prepared, which I'm not a big wine drinker, but there was something about the memory of Switzerland and Geneva and all that. But so it was just, fun, the whole ritual of cooking. Now, here's the catch, I don't have a raclette grill with, to cook all the veggies and sausage on top and melt the cheese underneath, but I do have a frying pan, which is another Ken and Sam story, because I covet Ken's frying pan. He has this frying pan, old cast iron frying pan that he's had for years and years and years, and it's so well seasoned and so beautifully cured that, it's just amazing, like, it's basically like a nonstick pan, but cast iron, and I loved, making breakfasts with Ken in the morning when I stayed with them for several months, working on the van, and so I got my own frying pan a few weeks ago. It was like my own Christmas present to myself, and I seasoned it as best I could, but, you just gotta keep using it to season it, and I thought, "How am I gonna melt my cheese?" I could just melt it in the microwave or put it on all my vegetables and my bread, my potatoes, but then I thought, "I'm gonna use the pan." First of all, it made me happy because Ken and Sam gave me the gift certificate, um and then they, so they were so part of the night already. So I pulled out the pan and he said, "I'm just gonna heat the cheese in the pan," which was great. It turned out so great. And, it was a little messy at the end because my pan is not so well seasoned yet and nonstick, but it was worth every minute of the cleaning to have the cheese cooked that way. And when I sat down with my meal, I took a picture of my raclette dinner and sent it to Ken and Sam and thanked them for their card. And so, yeah, another connection. And of course, I got a big yum with exclamation mark back from Sam, which is that's just the perfect from Sam. So fantastic meal, great connections and memories to Geneva, to my girls and family making raclette meals, to the woman in the grocery store, to the frying pan, to just Christmas Eve being okay on my own, making a nice meal, having memories of connection, even if people weren't in the room, and remembering that I'm okay, that this is my last Christmas Eve in Cambridge, Mass. This time next year, I'll be on the farm. And so I texted my friend Travis, who owns the farm now, and I said, "How's it feeling? This being your last Christmas, and I'm looking forward to my first Christmas there next year." Of course, they weren't at the farm, they were visiting family, but it was just nice to connect with her and exchange. I have such gratitude for the place that they've built and the place I will be next year. And so that is my connection with my solitary meal, which wasn't so solitary at all, actually, when you bring in the past memories, the future aspirations, the love, the gratitude, the kindness of others, the realization of my own strengths, of being comfortable and happy and peaceful in my own skin, and in my own meal with myself. So that is that story. I am so excited for this year and to start inviting other people in to share their stories. Soon, I'm going to be sharing a Google Voice number on my podcast, and then people can call in and tell me stories of connection one meal at a time. I'm truly, truly humbled, I guess is the right word that's coming to mind, by finding this passion and this purpose for the next chapter of my life. And I'm grateful for anybody who comes along for the ride. So, all right, wishing everyone an extraordinary, ordinary moments of connection, one meal at a time. Bye for now.